All right, let's get into it, my fine and beautiful people. It's been a few days. But I'm going to play catch up. I got a way to play catch up. So what I want to do, first of all, like, comment, subscribe. I want to talk about assets and liabilities. Assets and liabilities. You know, I've been caught up. This is springtime in upstate New York, mid-Hudson Valley, New York. And this is the time of year, you know, spring done kicked in. And the thing that's keeping me away from making my videos and keeping up to my challenge is spring work, yard work, housework, and work. And, you know, in this day and age, and when you become a homeowner, and in this day and age, you really find that home ownership ain't what it's all cracked up to be, or home ownership isn't what they advertise it to be. And what I mean by that is, take this for instance. You know, you have these assessors and your tax assessors who come around and evaluate your house, or they work for the county and they say, well, this is how much your house is worth and this is what you got to pay in taxes, right? So now people in my community, my folk, they don't get the point of, you know, why am I paying taxes on my house? You know, besides the services the county or the city government provides, like cleaning up, you know, street sweeping, picking up trash, sewage, getting rid of, you know, sewage, water treatment, providing water, electricity, things of that nature, snow removal, things of that nature, taxes, education, schools, but, you know, besides the utilities and the stuff that the duties that the county has to uphold, they need money for that. Besides that, your house is an asset. Now, because you don't use, I believe that taxes are also on the potential, they tax the potential of income that your home can help create for you. Though I'm going to assume that the majority of us don't use our homes for income. For instance, there's a difference between assets and liability. Now, at this point, most of us buy a home, move our families into them, create a family in them, and for the most part, we become slaves to our property, which is never really our property because we have to pay taxes. You don't pay that taxes. The county, the government comes in and sweep it out from under you. So, you know, one sense is never really yours, unless you go buy land somewhere that the government or county doesn't provide any kind of service to. But most of us don't live in places like that. We live in communities that need services and utilities. So, but besides all that, like I said, you know, we use our homes to live in and raise families and this and the third. And as the breadwinner, you become, it's very highly unlikely you'll become a slave to it. It is highly unlikely that you will never really spend much time in it. Your family will, your kids will. Chances are your wife, your girl, will cheat on you in the very same house. Most likely. Forgive me as I get ready for work. Chances are she'll cheat on you, or that's where she's going to plot her plan to cheat on you and then divorce you. I was watching this video, which I've got to get back to, but in passing I was watching it, and in general the guy was saying that, you know, within 7 to 9 years, you're working on, you know, your job, you get your house, get your kids, and your wife, and the first 7 to 9 years, you're working on it, you made all these major purchases, you raise your kids, this, that, and the third, and you know, at some point, your wife gets bored, starts getting distant. 7 to 9 years in, she stops having sex with you. And like I said, cheats on you, but cheats on you, shit hits the fan, however it hits the fan, divorce comes in, she takes half your shit. Or puts you out of the house. And you end up paying the alimony and child support and all that good stuff. So, this is the stereotypical way that things go. So, at that point, all of that is a liability to you, sir. So, I'm saying, and what you should do is something I will tell my 30-year-old something son, is that, you know, you can find yourself decent apartment. And I've known a couple to have done this. Whereas the apartment that they had in New York City, modest, good, everything in it is good, you know, close to transportation and utilities and outlets, whatever it is. You know, New York is a walking city. You can have everything, get anything at any time of the night. Whatever it is, you can get to it any time of the night at a good price. Now, you can still have all of that and still be a homeowner. How do you ask? Well, you can still purchase a home, keep your nice little apartment in the city, and rent out your home. So that way, your house turns from a liability into an asset. Excuse me. Like I said, it's springtime in New York. Oh my God, suffering. So now, your liability becomes an asset, and you've begun to build wealth and generational wealth and network and all that good stuff. Or, as they say, you could buy yourself a 2-family house and rent out the bottom. But the problem is with that is, you know, most of the time to be able to do these things and for it to be obtainable, location is everything. You know, being able to commute, because most of the time to get a house nowadays and home ownership is going to be so out of reach for this next generation coming up that transportation, like all the other things that come into play. How far is your job? What it's going to cost to get back and forth? Are you going to be? Can you carry a lunch? You know, do you have to buy breakfast, lunch? Because you're out of the home so much. Do you have to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day? You know what I mean? You know, you spend all these outside. You know, you're slaving for this liability at this point. That you're spending all this time outside of the house, but, you know, to support it. So not only are you going to have to support the liability, but you're also going to have to support the means of how you're going to generate the income to afford it. You know, gas, car note, insurance, food, the clothes, you know what I mean? All of that plays a part. And then while you're away, who's going to maintain it? You're going to have to get a guy come and cut your grass, to come fertilize, mulch, you know what I'm saying? Water, electricity, all that stuff that keeps your property looking good. You know what I mean? You're keeping your property appraised at a higher value. You know, you have to make a decision on are you going to be a slave to it, or are you going to use it as a income generating property? You know, you're really going to have to decide whether you're going to live in it, a 2-family, which is probably easier to get from what I understand. Get yourself a 2-family and charge rent and have a mortgage and have a tenant that pays the mortgage, and you know, having somewhat of a place to live for free, you know, and then still be on hand to manage the property, you know. And if all of that balances out for you, then cool. But me being a city boy, living up here in the suburbs, upstate a little bit, I kind of wish I kept my apartment, nice little co-op, you know, down in the 5 boroughs, and bought a house up here and rented it out. You know what I mean? And because the house has helped my credit score, and it has been living there for quite some time, never had a late payment, and it's really helped me. It's really helped me. But it's not easy. and it's taking a village to keep it pushing. But I'm just going to leave it right there for now. We're going to get into part 2 about assets and liabilities. All right? It's your boy Cappuccino, a.k.a. Brian R. Keefe. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to see you on part 2 in a minute.